Hello everyone, welcome to today's music hub. My name is Fidelis Upepu, and today we're talking about introduction to music. Now, first of all, what is music? Music is seen as a group of sounds, a combination of sounds, a series of sounds, whichever way you put it, that are pleasant to the ear. Now, music cannot be just one sound. That's why we say a group of sounds, a combination of sounds. So you cannot have music from just one sound. Music has to come from a group of sounds, a collection of sounds, played together or sound together. And for it to be music, it has to be present to the ear. Now, there are various forms in which music exists, various forms in which music comes to play. Now, we have the vocal music, or let me say, as humans, we sing with our voice. That's one form of music. When we play the instrument, that's another form of music. When we combine both of them, when we sing and play the instrument, that's another form of music. Now, when we try to represent what we sing, what we play on paper, that's another form of music. So, for the first one, when we sing, it's known as vocal music because the sounds we produce come from our vocal cord. So it's called vocal music. Now the name for that is a cappella. That's the most stable name for that, a cappella. But we can also say vocal music, which is also in place. Now for the one where we play instruments, it is called instrumental music. That means music that comes from instruments. Now the professional name for that is orchestral music. Orchestral music. Now when we combine both of them, you can say it's vocal instrumental music because we combine both of them. But the professional name for that is accompanied music. Now why is it accompanied music? Music is not a form of communication. So what do we communicate? Words. We communicate the lyrics, the message in the lyrics. So when a group of people are singing, the people they are singing to or singing for are listening to what they are saying, not just the sounds. So the major carrier of the message is the voice. So when we combine the voice and the instruments are accompanying the voice. That's why it's called accompanied music. So at this point now, the instrument will have to be on the lower side so that the voice can be heard effectively. That is called accompanied music. Now for the last, when we try to represent what we sing and what we play on paper, that's called scripted music. Scripted music. Now we know about how to sing, although we still learn that, but our focus we skip the vocal, instrumental, and accompanying music and move to scripted music. Let us learn how to interpret what we see on paper so that we can be independent and not depend on the music director or the choir master. Now, scripted music, I think it implies script means to write down. Now, it's a means of representing musical sounds on paper. Now, the means by which we do this is known as notation. It's known as notation. Notation is the means by which we carry out scripting of music. Now, there are various types of notations. We have staff notation, we have Solfa notation, or Tonic Solfa notation. We have the graphic system, we have the number system. So in ages past, the predominant method of scripting music was the staff notation. Not until the 11th century when Guido d'Arezzo invented the first Solfa notation, which was being used then from the first phrase of a hymn, ut puent laxis. And these notes were ut, re, mi, fa, so, and la. Now, fast forward to the 19th century, where John Cohen came up with the modern song we are using now, which is the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, as we all know. So this is the history of how superannuation came to be. There is more to it, but that's not our business for now. Let us focus on interpreting superannuation. So now, further studying the notes that were invented or brought to use by John Cohen, you should know that this note is spelled as this, D-O-H, do. This is spelled as R-A-Y, Ray, spelled M-E, which is me, F-A-H, fa, so, la, and T-E, and T. Now, aside these names, aside these spellings, which are just there to help us know how to pronounce these notes, there are other names that are attached to these notes. They give us their technical function. Now, the technical name for each of these notes are as follows. Now, the technical name for do is the tonic. Now, why is it the tonic? It is the tonal center. It is the base from which every other note is drawn from which every other note is derived from. That's why it's called the tonic. It's also called the home note, showing the same function, showing the same role it plays. We also call it the key note. Key note, home note, tonic are all the same thing, although they can change a little, they can vary a little, but they are all telling us that this note is the root from which all other notes derive their place. You can also add root to this. This is supertonic. This is the mediant. Fa is the subdominant. So is the dominant. La is the submediant. T is the leading note. Now these are the technical names of these notes which we should know. Now, when you sing these notes, for instance, I have do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. We all know that we can still continue. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. But the seven notes which were used are these. So the seven notes. But when we sing do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. That means since the range of our voice is not exceeded or has not been exhausted, we can repeat these notes to cover that range. Let us sing. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol. Some people can continue above. Let's do it again. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Now, you can see that after repeating all this, they are the same. After repeating all this, they are still the same. we have the same thing here, the same thing here, and the same thing here. So what was done when this was enrolled is that numbers will be assigned to notes that are higher to make them different from the normal notes. When we repeat the notes this way, which makes them higher, we add numbers above them to make them look different from the normal notes we have here. Now, since these are the first notes that are being repeated, we're going to add numbers to them, and this number will be 1 for each of the notes, each of the 7 notes that are repeated here. So we're going to have 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Having done that, this is still the same with this. We have to make them look different. And we cannot add 1, which we have here with this, in the same with this. So since we are progressing, the numbers also progress. So this becomes 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. This go and repeat, so it becomes 3 because we are progressing. If your voice rate can still carry, you can still repeat each of the notes with the superscript 3. Now, note that when numbers are added to notes above, when we see the top right corner of the note, they are called superscripts. So you can put superscripts till infinity, as long as your voice rate can carry. Now, that's for voice. Instruments that can have higher than this range can also have up to notes with superscript of 5, 6, and so on. Now let us rewind and sing from here downwards. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. For those that are singing this and baritone, you can go below this. Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Do, ti, la, sol. Now, notes can be repeated this way also. Now, when you repeat those notes, they are the same with this. What do? We add numbers and we added here. But this time, since we are repeating these notes below the normal notes, we are going to add subscripts instead of superscripts. Now, superscripts are numbers at the top right corner of each note of any note. But subscripts are numbers added at the bottom right corner. So this becomes now, why are we adding 1? Because this is the first time they are repeated after the normal notes. Now, if your voice can still carry and notes are still repeated this way, what we will have will be 2. Just like the number line in mathematics, where we have 0, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This becomes -1, -2, -3, -4. So it progresses in this manner. That's why we have from 1 this way, and here we have from 1 down this way. Like I said, do is the tonic, the home note, the key note, or the root, from which other notes derive their position. What is the position? Where something is located. If this is the start point, and you are asked to derive the position from this start point, that means you have to measure the distance from the start point. So, how do you measure the distance or the position of these notes from do as the root, do as the tonic? Simple. From do to re is a tone. Sounds are measured in tones. Just like distance is measured in meters. Sounds are measured in tones. From re to mi is a tone. From mi to fa is a semitone. From fa to sol is a tone. Sol to la is a tone. La to ti is a tone. So you can see that T stands for tone and S stands for semitone. Now what is semi? Semi means half. Half tone. That means half of this. Now we don't just sing these 7 notes like we said earlier. Notes are repeated to cover the vocal range. To cover the vocal range. Now, what is the relationship between this part that is repeated? Because at this point now, since they are repeated, this one will become a tone. This will also be a tone. This will also be a semitone, just like we have here. But how do these two relate? This part and this part. What is the relationship? Semitone. So what we have from here to here is what we still have even if you repeat this thing 100 times. What we still have. So we're going to take just this formula from here to this one because we still have the same thing. Even if you have this. We're still going to have semitone because that's the relationship between these two. Still going to have this, 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 this. So it's the same thing we're going to have. So we're going to take this relationship, just this, to explain the distance or the spaces between these notes. Okay, now I forgot something. These are notes. These are letters that are representing sounds. That's why they are called notations. Now, the sounds all these notes produce progresses from this way to this way. So that's that. We say we're going to take just this formula to explain the relationship between these notes. By this, we mean that from do to re is a tone. From re to mi is a tone. From mi to fa is a semitone. That's a half tone, and so on. Tone, 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 semitone. Now, this is the formula that governs the movement between these notes, governs the movement between how the sounds increase. This is the formula that governs how the sounds by these notes increase. That's why when we talk about doping the tonic and being the reference point for all other notes, this is the formula that governs that movement. After establishing your tone, you use the tone to locate re, because we put re as a tone. The tone from re gives you mi. Now, it's a semitone that is half tone from mi gives you fa, and so on. You need this knowledge to excel when it comes to music. This is the basic knowledge you need to excel when it comes to music. This knowledge, you don't need a teacher to learn any instrument. You don't necessarily need a teacher, yes, for his experience, yes, but basically, you don't need a teacher because you can find your way through musical theories just by knowing this. Just by knowing this. Tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. By far, based on what I've experienced, this is the most important formula, important theory you need to know as a musician. This is the most important, so please take it very seriously. Tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Okay, we observe that this contains two semitones, this is one semitone, two, and one semitone. Now, if a semitone from mi falls on fa, the semitone from do falls where? Where does it fall? What are we trying to achieve here now? Where does it fall? Just using it. Let me recap again. If a semitone from mi falls on fa, the semitone from do, where does it fall? Because from do to re is a tone. So the semitone from do is only half the distance from do to re. So that means semitone from do falls in between do and re. You will need another semitone to complete it to where re is. Semitone from re falls in between. You will need another half to complete it to re. So if this happens when we have these two tones, it should also happen when we have other tones. So that means there are other notes that exist in between these notes. There are other notes that exist there. We are going to go there, but first of all, we need to know that those notes are called accidental notes. And these 7 notes are called natural notes. So basically, there are 12 musical notes. 7 are natural. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 5. 1, 2, there's nothing here because on semitone, 3, 4, 5. Nothing here because of the semitone. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are accidental notes. 12 musical notes, 7 naturals, 5 accidental. I'm not counting this because it's repeated. The same thing as this. So, how do we describe the relationship between this note and this note? This note, the first note and this note, which is repeated here, how do we describe it? It is called an octave. Now, what is an octave? Octave. The first part has OCT, which is oct, as in octagon. Octagon in shape with 8 sides, and so on. So this prefix oct stands for 8. So relating this to this, that means, okay, let's do it this way. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So an octave is the 8th note from a reference point, or from a reference note, or from a root. Now, if we continue by repeating these other notes, we will see that if we count from re, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The next 8th note falls on the re repeated above. If we count from mi, it will fall here, from 5 it will fall here, from 7 it will fall here, and so on. So an octave does not only exist between do and do. It exists between re and re, mi and mi, fa and fa, and so on. Now, if we have this, harmony does not exist between this and this because this is 16 notes. You have to be between this and this, this and this, this and this, then this and maybe this press here. From do to re is a tone which has what? Two semitones. Two semitones, two semitones, two semitones, two semitones. Now this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12. You can also say an octave is an interval or a distance of 12 semitones. Now we said that the tone equals 2 semitones. Semitone plus semitone equals 1, 2. So let us divide this. So this is a tone. This is a tone. This is semitone. This is a tone. This is a tone. This is a tone. This is semitone. So tone equals 2 semitones. So this is what? Semitone, 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 this is semitone, 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 semitone. Now, mind you, this note is not the tone and it is not the semitone. Neither of these notes are the tone or the semitone. When we talk about distance or interval, it is the space between 2 points, 2 notes. So the tone here is the space between these 2 notes. So you shouldn't be counting semitone, semitone. Instead, leave the start point and count the end point as the semitone or as the tone. Because at this point now, this is 0. This becomes 1. So this becomes 0 and tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. But better still, it's good to understand that this is not the tone. It's not the tone. The tone is the distance between both of them. Now, this point where the semitone ends is not the semitone. It's the distance between this do and whatever exists at this point. Like we said, since a tone is an embodiment of 2 semitones, it therefore means that these notes are not the only notes that exist. There are other notes that exist in between where we have tones. There are other notes that exist there. Because if a semitone exists, then if you move the semitone from do, doesn't get to re, it stops somewhere. So the semitone from re behind doesn't get to do, it stops somewhere. So where does it stop? We have said that these 7 are natural and those 5 which we don't know are accidentals. It just happened. They are accidental notes. Now, how do we derive accidental notes? Accidental notes are derived by 1. Sharpening natural notes, or secondly, flattening natural notes. So to derive these notes which are missing in these spaces, we need to sharpen these notes or flatten them. Now, what is sharpening? Sharpening means to increase the pitch or the sound of a natural note or any note at all. But since we are deriving accidental notes now, it means increasing the sound of natural notes. by a semitone. As you can see, it's a semitone that leads us to where we have this note that is missing. So it is by a semitone. I recap. Sharpening means increasing the sound of natural notes by a semitone. On the other hand, flattening means reducing, decreasing the sound of a note or the pitch of a note by a semitone. So when you sharpen this, it falls here. We flatten this. Now, sharpening, like I said, the sounds produced by this note increase from left to right, from here to here. So if we are increasing, we are moving from here to here. If we are sharpening, we are moving from here to here. If we are flattening, we are moving from forward, backward. So when we flatten, we have known the position of those notes. We sharpen and know where the notes are to be placed. Now, how do we know their names? So now, when we sharpen the natural note, we have to add E to that note. When we sharpen the natural note, we have to add E to that note to get the name of the accidental note that is derived. When we flatten, we add A to that note to get the name of the note that is derived. So when we sharpen Do, we are going to add D. Sorry, we're going to add E to Do to have the name of the note that is derived by sharpening Do. So this gives an explanation of the plenty D, Z, F, and we have in music. This is an explanation. This is a breakdown of why those notes exist in that manner. So D is a derivative of Do by sharpening. So I believe when after having this knowledge you will sing better, because you now know how they came about, how they came to be, because these notes give us issues when singing. But I believe after having this knowledge it will be easier to sing them, because you now understand how they are being derived. So to get this note, you just have to move from Do a little bit upward, but not getting to Re. When you flatten Re, it is now backward. So we are going to have Re with A added to it, as we have stated here. So this becomes Raw. Now we are going to spell these notes out so we can know their spellings. But let us derive them first. From observation, you can see that this one note has two names because it was derived in two different ways. It was derived by sharpening Do, and it has now been derived by flattening Re. So this note has two names. So now when we sharpen Re, this is the end point. We have Re with E added to it because of stated here. Flatten Me, you have Me with A added to it. This also has two names by derivation. Now, it is alright, but let us just do so we can understand why we sharpen Me. If you sharpen Me, the end point is far because sharpening is increasing by a semitone. So we cannot have ME. Although ME exists because ME is a spelling for Me, as we said earlier.
But we can't have a sharp of me because sharpening me falls on fa. Fa has a name and cannot be renamed. Natural notes are like fundamental notes. Those are the fixed so that they have fundamental quantities and derived quantities. So these natural notes are fundamental. They are not derived. The accidental are the ones that are derived from the natural notes. So if you sharpen anything and it falls on in a natural note, know that that thing does not have a sharp. Sharpen me falls here, me has no sharp. Now flatten fa falls on me because of what? Semicolon. Therefore fa has no flat. Sharpen fa, this will be the end point. Now you have fa and e added to it because of what we stated here. This becomes this. This is another point because something so it falls here. This becomes some e added to it. This becomes la e added to it. This is the next point. La e added to it because of what is being sharpened. And this is for e added to it because it's flattened. So I believe we are seeing things we know here, but didn't know how they were derived. This is how they are derived. Okay, now we know about 5 accidental notes. D or ro, ri or mo, fi or so, z or la, ri or so. So these are the 5 accidental notes. You know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 12. This is written. I said that each of these accidental notes have 2 names because they were derived in 2 ways: sharpening and flattening. That means there are 2 ways to derive accidental notes: sharpening and flattening. Just like a house that has a front door and a back door. So now let us write out these notes. Let us do this one. Okay, for the sharps, D, R, F, Z, and E. So the 5 sharps that got for sharpening natural notes. Now for the flats, this is RA, but the full spelling is RAW, as in raw. Raw food, raw, that's why you pronounce it as raw, not ra. This is MA, but the full spelling is MAW. Mo, not ma. This is SA, but the full spelling is SAW, as in saw, to saw wood. So it is saw, not sa. Now, most of us call this note so, it is wrong. The spelling is SOH, which is so. So, not so, as in to sow your seed, or to sow your seed on the ground, or to sow a dress. So the next note is LA and it is spelled law, LAW, law. So it is law, not la. This is la, LAH. This is law. Now this is TAW, which is tall, as in TOUR, tall. So it is tall, not tar. Now this is same as this, same as this, same as this, same as this, same as we are seeing here. In recent times, these notes have been replaced by this. So you may not see this in a song, but you may see this. You may see this. Yes, just like it's written here, without the W. You may see this in a song. Know that it is this. Yeah, it's this. So now do about 12 musical notes, which are 7 naturals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 5 accidentals, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, for want of space or not to be too clumsy, I'm going to use just the sharps. Now, we had something about repeating notes. If we can repeat this, whether above or below, we can also repeat accidental notes. Yes. So repeating them, you can have something like this, still with the superscript to make it look different from the one below here. You can still have this superscript to make it look different from what we have below here. At this point, subscript. So whatever can be done to literal notes can also be done to accidental notes. Now, for the fact that we are using just sharps here, doesn't mean that when we change to flats, we cannot add superscript or subscript. They will still be there. They will still be there. Now, there's something I would like us to learn. Where the phenomenon of a note having two names exists, that is known as the phenomenon of enharmonics. Enharmonics, a particular note having two names or having two ways of being derived. So, Ra is the enharmonic of D. Mo is the enharmonic of Ri. So is the enharmonic of Fi, or Bo as you may have it. Law is the enharmonic of Z. To is the enharmonic of E. So we can use them interchangeably. Now, this is the end of our first lecture. So I believe you understand what is being said here. So I took my time to break everything down in tiny bits. If you don't understand, I'm open to your questions. You can drop them in the comment section or after the class.